Hello, everyone. This is Karen Ranzi of Feel Fabulous with Food, and I am here today with Dr. Tim Trader. You may have watched our previous video on detox myths. I hope you did. It was really an excellent one. And today we're going to be talking about the algae. And I have some questions for you, Dr. Trader. I've heard that you don't like some of the algae supplements. And a lot of these supplements are being sold to health enthusiasts around the world. They're very popular. If they're not sold separately, they're sold in vitamins. I know right away of a supplement, it's a vegan supplement,
Mhm.
and it's a very popular one and has chlorella in it as one of the few ingredients. And most people believe that these supplements detoxify, that they promote health and energy, and overall are really good for our health. Can you tell me some of what your reasons are for not liking some of these supplements?
First of all, thank you, Karen, for having me. Um, algae supplements like blue-green algae, spirulina, chlorella are sold for their potential health benefits, like you talked about. First of all, blue-green algae, or the proper name, excuse me if I don't quite say this right, Afflimazan floss aki, or what the industry refers to, and I will refer to as AFA from now on. AFA, as well as spirulina, are not a true algae or alga, but they are in reality a cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria is the true cause of toxic algae blooms in both fresh and marine waters that produce toxins that can cause a range of illnesses, including skin irritation, gastrointestinal problems, and neurological issues. In severe cases, toxic algae blooms can even be fatal, particularly to pets and other animals. Unlike AFA and spirulina, chlorella is not a cyanobacteria. Chlorella is a microalgae. Chlorella belongs to the chlorophyta, green algae group, but can present with some similar situations as cyanobacteria, including being involved in toxic algae blooms.
Why do you have a problem specifically with the blue-green algae or this AFA that you're talking about? The toxins in the AFA? Because
Okay.
so many people think of blue-green algae as being something that will improve their health.
Yeah. Well, let's start out with AFA is sold to boost your nutrition with protein, vitamins, with superior nutrition overall. But you can't make a meal out of it. And if you take too much, you will have serious toxic reaction. The suggested daily intake supplies so very little nutrition that it's almost undetectable. And some of the reported nutrition in these supplements, like AFA, is falsified. But the toxic burden that AFA and other so-called algae supplements give us is not giving us health, but creating disease and degeneration. But the claimed energy boost is not from the nutrition, but from the toxins.
So we're getting energy from the toxins,
We're not getting energy, we're getting stimulation from the toxins.
stimulation that makes us think that we have more energy.
Yeah.
Neurotoxins and cyanotoxins sound bad. Are there any other toxins in AFA?
Okay, well, let's talk about cyanotoxins. They are abundant in cyanobacteria and have been found in AFA. One group of those cyanotoxins in AFA is called mycocystins. Mycocystins are a group of hepatotoxins, substances that can cause liver damage. One of the microcystins in AFA and I'm going to try to pronounce this right,
Mhm.
is Sindospermicin, and another non-microcystin concerning toxin is saxitoxin, which is a known neurotoxin. AFA products have had up to 50 to 60 times the maximum acceptable concentration of microcystins affecting the liver, gastrointestinal system, and potentially the respiratory and reproductive systems. They can cause liver inflammation, cell damage, necrosis, and potentially lead to conditions like non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or exacerbate existing liver conditions and have been shown to cause cancer with long-term exposure. Now, saxitoxin symptoms often begin with tingling and numbness of the lips, tongue, and fingertips, progressing to more severe issues like muscle weakness, difficulty breathing, paralysis. High ingestion of saxitoxin can be life-threatening, and in severe cases, death can occur due to respiratory failure. Both of these toxins are found to be dangerous in algae blooms of fresh water and marine waters.
This is incredible. We think we're doing something good for ourselves.
Yeah, and that's just the start of things. AFA also has BMAA, beta methyl amino L-arginine. BMAA is a neurotoxin that has been linked to amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, and Parkinsonism dementia complex. BMAA induces neuronal degeneration via overreaction of glutamate receptors. So this is really serious stuff.
This is really serious stuff. And as someone who I know does a lot of research out there, what you're talking about, it sounds like it's all really based on some strong research that people are not seeing.
Yeah, the research surprisingly is abundant out there, but it's putting it into different places. Are you looking at one toxin or another toxin? But let's talk about all the toxins. Like another one that AFA also has is called lipopolysaccharides, or LPS. Lipopolysaccharides can trigger a strong immune response, leading to inflammation, and in high concentrations can also be toxic, potentially causing shock or organ failure. LPS has been found to, in part, to cause autoimmune diseases, heart disease, liver disease, type 2 diabetes, and cancer. And then there is the pseudo vitamin B12 issue, and it's real. Pseudo vitamin B12 is a coronoid compound, structurally similar to vitamin B12, but lacking in the biological activity and coenzyme function of vitamin B12 in humans. Pseudovitamin B12 can be found in ALA, where it is the predominant cobalamin. Basically, pseudovitamin B12 does not function as a real B12, but the sellers of AFA will tell you it is a great way to get your vitamin B12. It not only doesn't work, but it also blocks real vitamin B12 from doing its job.
So would you say it's an analog of B12? Like it acts like B12 in the body?
No, the whole thing is it doesn't. But what it does, you ever put a key into a lock and broken off the head of the key and the rest of the key still in the lock and you can't open the lock, you can't do anything? That's the same thing. Your cell receptors for vitamin B12 attach themselves to pseudovitamin B12, but it doesn't go in, doesn't do the work, and now vitamin B12 can't go in and get into the cell and the cells start having a B12 deficiency and can't function properly, especially your nervous system, and it creates havoc in your body.
This BMAA that you're talking about has been shown to cause ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, and has been linked to Parkinson's disease. Is there more?
Actually, there is more. I mean, we talked about lipopolysaccharides, B12, and all the other toxins, but why do people feel good with all this toxic stuff? There's one particular component of cyanobacteria that is actually advertised in the AFA supplements. It is phenylethylamine.
Mm.
And phenylethylamine is an amphetamine. Amphetamines are neurotoxic and cause mitochondrial damage. But because of phenylethylamines stimulation effects, people feel healthier and more vibrant, when in fact it's robbing the body systems of vital energy and nutrients, as well as damaging the nervous system. To put this into context, Adderall is phenylethylamine class. Adderall, an amphetamine medication, primarily affects the brain and central nervous system by increasing levels of dopamine and norepinephrine, which are neurotransmitters involved in attention, focus, and energy. This can lead to an improved focus, reduced impulsivity, and increased wakefulness, and is used for individuals with ADHD or narcolepsy. However, it can be also cause various side effects, including decreased appetite, insomnia, anxiety, increased heart rate, and blood pressure. Prolonged use of the drug can lead to a range of physical and psychological issues. Amphetamines, including phenylethylamine, cause nerve damage and have been linked to neurodegenerative disorders as well as inhibiting mitochondrial function. Particularly, amphetamines inhibit mitochondrial electron transport chain complexes, perturbations of mitochondrial clearance mechanisms, mitochondrial dynamics, as well as oxidative modifications to mitochondrial macromolecules, and can cause DNA damage with high production of ROS, reactive oxygen species, otherwise known as oxidative damage. This is something really serious, but it makes you feel good.
Wow. And I have worked with people, children, and adults who have ADD, attention deficit disorder, autism. Many of them have been on drugs like Adderall.
Mm-hmm.
They have some of these problems that you're talking about that have come along with taking the drugs.
One of
Okay.
the things that I see quite often with ADD or ADHD is that the children that this drug has been given to is they compound things because they're not getting the sleep that they need as well, and it's really serious.
AFA does not sound like it's a very healthy product. So why do people feel good when they take it? You said that blue-green algae, AFA, and spirulina are cyanobacteria, but what about spirulina? Does spirulina have the same toxins?
Spirulina, or otherwise known as Arthrospina planteus or Spirulina planteus for a couple of scientific names. Like AFA, spirulina also has microcystins and cyanotoxins, as well as BMAA and lipopolysaccharides, just like AFA. But we also find N2-aminoethylglycine, or AEG, and I'll refer to it as AEG from now on, and 2,4-dianyl butyric acid, or DAB, in spirulina on top of all of the other toxins. AEG can be considered toxic associated with neurotoxicity and other potential health problems. AEG is an isomer of the neurotoxin BMAA, and it has been found to be toxic to primary cortical cultures, brain cells, potentially more so than BMAA itself. And then DAB has also been identified as a neurotoxin and can also cause liver damage as well. Spirulina is often marketed as a source of B12, vitamin B12. However, the primary form of vitamin B12 found in spirulina is not the active biological useful form, but rather the molecule called pseudo vitamin B12, as previously talked about with the AFA. And spirulina also has phenylethylamine, though it seems to be in lesser amounts from AFA, but it is still significant enough to give us stimulative effects of AFA, as well as the mitochondrial and nerve damage. But you often find the two or even three with chlorella put together in the same supplement, the same package. And so you're getting it all together. But a lot of times, just a little bit of this stuff can really throw your system out of whack. And if whether you're getting more phenylethylamine or less, you're still getting it and you're still feeling the effects.
So this acts really like a drug in the system.
Drugs are primarily toxic, and how we can really see that is that the liver still has to process them, just like it would formaldehyde or some other toxic chemicals. But we also find N2-aminoethylglycine, AEG, and 2,4-dianyl butyric acid, DAB, in spirulina. On top of all that, AEG can be considered toxic associated with neurotoxicity and other potential health problems. AEG is an isomer of the neurotoxin BMAA and has been found to be toxic to primary cortical cultures, brain cells, potentially more so than BMAA itself. And then DAB has also been identified as a neurotoxin, and it can also cause liver damage as well.
What about chlorella?
Mm-hmm.
You talked about AFA and spirulina being in reality a cyanobacteria, and that chlorella is a microalgae. But does the chlorella also have the same toxins as the others?
Yeah. Some information suggests that chlorella, a type of green algae, literally does not produce the same kind of neurotoxin, such as BMAA or microcystins, or that are sometimes found in cyanobacteria like AFA and spirulina. But it can be a concern if contaminated by algae or bacteria during cultivation or processing. Like AFA and spirulina, chlorella is often cultivated in open ponds, making it susceptible to contamination by other algae and microorganisms, including bacteria, fungi, and protozoa. Chlorella needs sunshine to grow. There have been instances where the chlorella supplements have been found to contain BMAA, mycocystins, neurotoxins like saxitoxin. There are frequent instances where the farming of chlorella is also contaminated with heavy metals, pathogens, and plastics.
Oh my goodness.
This brings up a point. AFA is primarily, if not exclusively, wildcrafted. Spirulina and Chlorella are produced or farmed in mostly open-air facilities, and it is almost impossible to purify and refine these products down to just the bacteria or the algae alone. They are all pretty much contaminated. So they all have impurities that can do us harm, like other bacteria, chemicals, heavy metals, and plastics. The research has shown that cyanobacteria likes to grow on chlorella, and ultimately this is what people are buying chlorella for. While chlorella is known for being a source of phenylethylamine, once again, it's also important to note that AFA has been shown to have higher levels. But there's still enough phenylethylamine in chlorella due to the contamination to have even reported psychotic episodes from phenylethylamine and from chlorella ingestion, as well as seizures.
My goodness. Hmm. Yeah, it's just incredible that these products are so prominent in the marketplace. Amazing. Can you get vitamin B12 from chlorella?
Chlorella has often touted as a good source of vitamin B12, but the form it contains can be either biologically active or the pseudo vitamin B12. Chlorella species can't make vitamin B12 itself, but they can be contaminated with B12 synthesizing bacteria. Note that chlorella is not considered to be a reliable, sufficient source of vitamin B12. One brand can be so very different from another brand, let alone one bottle can be different from another bottle of supplement. Now, if chlorella is not so contaminated, maybe there might be some merit. But the reality is that it would not give the results that people are looking to have the promise of the B12 or the feel-good effects of the phenylethylamine if it wasn't contaminated. It probably would not be so attractive. But the truth were known that these so-called algas were giving people artificial and harmful stimulation, maybe people would think twice before taking them.
What can we do instead of taking these so-called algae products to get the nutrients that so many people think they are getting from these products that are actually causing problems that they may not be realizing and health challenges down the road as well. Talking
Absolutely.
about some very dangerous components and some things that are side effects of taking these products.
Yeah. So-called algae supplements are touted to give you high protein, vitamin, mineral nutrition, but you can't get enough of these products to really make a dent in your nutrition. If you're taking the suggested intake amounts, you just don't get a whole lot. Where fruits and vegetables are the highest in nutrition, especially when you consider the lower caloric value. And yes, you can get all your protein needs met from a fruit and vegetable exclusive eating style. Phenylethylamine is associated with positive feelings and mood enhancement. Phenylethylamine works by stimulating the release of feel-good neurotransmitters in the brain, including dopamine and serotonin. But consuming fruits can positively impact your mental well-being. Research that diet rich in fruits and vegetables, including those high in antioxidants, may be linked to reducing symptoms of depression, stress, and anxiety. Fruit reduces inflammation. Several fruits are known for their anti-inflammatory properties due to their rich content of antioxidants and other beneficial compounds, and may lower the risk of chronic diseases. Sleep is another item that so desperately needed, and we deny ourselves constantly a full night's sleep. Sleep is critical for both physical and mental well-being, It allows the body and brain to rest, repair, and recharge, leading to improved cognitive function, mood, energy, and overall health. Sleep and mitochondria are intricately linked, with sleep playing a crucial role in maintaining the mitochondrial health and function. Exercise also can significantly reduce symptoms of depression, stress, and anxiety. Regular physical activity, even moderate intensity exercise, can improve mood, boost endorphins, and help manage these conditions. Studies have shown that exercise can be as effective as medication or therapy for mild to moderate symptoms. Regular physical activity can improve mitochondrial function, increase their number, and enhance their ability to produce energy. Fruits, vegetables, sleep, and exercise. They all have been shown to raise both dopamine and serotonin levels and help with regulating their effects. This is a natural situation compared to the stimulating effects of phenylethylamine. But just like phenylethylamine, a high-fat diet can negatively impact mitochondria by causing DNA damage, reducing their quality and function and disrupting mitochondrial dynamics. A high-fat diet can also lead to just plain mitochondrial dysfunction, oxidative stress, and impaired energy metabolism. Yet a low-fat diet has been shown to do the reverse. Have you noticed that high-fat diets in general need stimulants like caffeine or phenylethylamine because they are low energy producing, while a low-fat, fruit and vegetable exclusive diet provides ample energy and, in what I see, no need for stimulants. And fruits also, though they're, through their various nutrients and compounds, play a role in supporting mitochondrial health and function. Mitochondria, the powerhouse of our cells, are responsible for energy production. Fruits can support mitochondrial function by providing essential nutrients, antioxidants, and by influencing factors like reducing oxidative stress. Some studies suggest that certain fruits and vegetables, especially those rich in flavonoids, may also be associated with increased mitochondrial biogenesis, the process of forming new mitochondria. And when you're looking at toxicity, eating an organic fruit becomes the most non-toxic way to eat possible. And it supplies the energy needed for the mitochondria to give you the energy that you need so much. Overall, it comes down to what you are eating. Are you moving? Are you getting enough sleep? Are other lifestyle factors working for you, or are they working against you? Or you can force the body with stimulants and toxins to achieve a failing function. It seems this is the norm for most civilization, is to lack in what they need, so they stimulate themselves into function. But it isn't healthy, and we see it every day. Adopting a healthy lifestyle not only ensures you may live longer, but you also live that life disease and symptom free. And
Excellent.
that's how you do it.
That's how you do it. That's great. So going back to nature, going back to what is our human design, and we should be eating the fruits and vegetables that we're meant to eat and not taking stimulating products in order to get our energy. So that was great. That was great. And thank you for ending with that piece because that ultimately is what we all need to know.
Ultimately, what we all need to do.
And ultimately what we all need to do. Yes. Dr. Trader, I know that you have written some information on this, that if people want to go and visit your site, that they can see all that you've talked about in such great detail here. Where can they go to find out more?
Yeah, I'm working on an article right now. I was hoping it would be done by now, but It's growing.
Okay, great.
And so the research is piling in, and so there's more and more to be done. But you can find me at recoverhealth.info. And if you click on articles, it will give you all my articles that are there for free. And when I get that up, it'll be there.
So keep checking.
Keep checking.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for talking with me today and for taking the real research on these products and letting people know like you don't need to spend your money on these. Spend your money on fruits and vegetables and your
Yes,
daily health through exercise and sleep and positive attitude and all those good things that we know are so important to our health.
absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Subscribe to this channel at Feel Fabulous with Food.